Hello, I'm EG, and this is going to be another yarn haul video. I actually bought a lot of yarn at Michael's recently, and which is shocking because, like I said in my other video, going into my local Michael's, it's like, I think we got like a micro version of Michael's, and they just don't have a lot of yarn in store. And like they literally have, I think, 8 half aisles of picture frames, but they only have 3 half aisles of yarn. It's just really frustrating, and like I said, I'd rather shop at a place other than Hobby Lobby. But of course, I'll shop at Hobby Lobby because their yarn is nice. But when Michael's was going to come here, I was thinking, oh good, now I have another place to buy yarn. But then they opened and it was like just 3 little half aisles of yarn. So it was always kind of disappointing going there because I had the intention of buying yarn and I really wanted to, and I really wanted to support Michael's. But then they just didn't have a whole big variety in there. So it's always been disappointing. So because I bought all this yarn on Yarn Inspirations in my last video, which actually got a lot of views for me. Got 8 views. To me, that's a lot. Considering all the other videos that I had posted on my YouTube channel, last year. But 8 views is a lot for me, and somebody actually watched the whole thing. So that was, crazy. And so I thought, since I actually got a couple views and a new subscriber, hello, whoever you are. I thought I'd do another video. And so, but in the other video, I bought a lot of yarn on yarninspirations.com, and then I unexpectedly bought some at Joann when I got to go to Joann. And so I thought, I know that Michael's has nice yarn, they just don't stock it in my store, because I've seen it on michaels.com. They don't have as big of a variety as like Joann's Big Twist, or I love this yarn, damn it, from Hobby Lobby. But they do have some variegated yarn stuff, some really nice yarns. They just don't stock it in my store, and it's just really frustrating. And so I thought, since I bought all this other yarn, I thought I want to support Michael's, and I want to see what some of this yarn looks like, because I've never seen it in person or whatever, and so I will use it for something. And then I ended up, I feel like I've spent more at Michael's, which is just insane because Michael's has been open here for a couple years. I've basically spent more at Michael's than I feel like I spent at Yarn Inspirations and Joann unexpectedly combined. It's been crazy. But anyway, so this is going to be all over the place. So if you watched my last video, just sit back and you'll be able to probably make another blanket if you made one during my last long rambly video, because this is sort of like scattered all over the place, because I wanted to say a lot of things in this video. I feel like all the stuff that I want to say in this video is going to be, it should be like 10 separate videos, but that's just not me. I'd rather just turn the camera on and not edit anything out and just put it out there and just not have to worry about editing and all that stuff. So anyway, what I wanted to do was I just wanted to buy some yarn on michaels.com, and so I did. I went through their website and I bought a bunch of yarn. It spent like $60 some or something, and because they were having it, it was 30% off, and there was something else. No, I guess it was just 30% off. But it was like really nice yarn, and so they sent it in a box. What was frustrating is you're probably just gonna skip past all this, but if you know me at all, this is how my videos, this is how my brain works. It's just constant, like all over the place, and just scatterbrain and all that. Get used to it if you're gonna watch any of my videos. A new subscriber, but the Michaels. See, I just lost my train of thought, just going off on that little tangent. Just very indicative of me. But crap, what was I gonna say? I know what I was going to say. I was going to say a cuss word, but I'm going to try to, refrain from cussing, even though I could, I cuss like a sailor. I get that from my dad. He was in the Navy. But Michael's, crap. Okay, I just edited that part out where I was trying to, find my train of thought or whatever. Anyway, so what was frustrating about buying this yarn at michaels.com is if you spend a certain amount of yarn, spend a certain amount on a shipment, they'll ship it to you for free. And so I spent over, I think it was over $49 or something. And but so they sent it all in one box except for one skein, and yet I got the box before that. The box was shipped with UPS, and it got here. Once they got it all together and they shipped it, it got here in just a couple days. But then the one skein, I was like, I had this urge to like film a video. This is before I bought all the other yarn from Michaels, you know, in store. But I had this urge to like film a video because I was getting a couple of views on my last video, and I thought, okay, good. But then I was waiting for my other skein because it was shipped separately through the U.S. Postal Service during with their ground advantage. Does anybody have any? Have you had any issues with ground advantage? It's really frustrating. Like I tried to ship one of my bookmarks that I made, like a bookmark with a little tassel and a little like charm on it and everything. It was literally 1 ounce. It was in just a regular business envelope, and they charged me $5.40 to ship it. Just because they have to like feed it into a machine, because you know people aren't like hand sorting anymore, they're just feeding it into machines. And so because it had a little bit of a bulge, they had to ship it as a parcel, and so I ended up having to spend $5.40 for shipping to ship a bookmark. And so so I was literally waiting for like over a week just for that one skein of yarn, and it finally came. I contacted Michaels and stuff, and you know, said, how long am I gonna have to wait before you consider this lost? And literally like a couple minutes later, it was scanned again at the post office after having not been scanned for a couple days. So I think they just called them. But anyway, so I got all my Michaels.com yarn, and then I bought a bunch in store. But anyway, let me go through the Michaels yarn that they sent. This is the one skein that I bought that that came separately. It's the loops and threads, and if I go through every single one of these colors and all the specs and stuff, it's just going to take way too long because I have a lot of stuff to get to. So I'm just going to tell you the colorway name, and it's like 252 yards. Some of them are like smaller. They're like the impeccable skeins, but whatever. Just look it up on Michaels.com. But it's loops and threads, and this is called Peachtree Multi. And see, like really pretty, like mix of colors. So, some of it's like a little bit pastel colors, but like it looks like Peachtree colors, like something perfect for spring. Like every single one of these yarns, I was looking, I was thinking, why isn't Michaels stocking this stuff? I mean, they have a lot of like really thick blanket yarns and all, and I have a feeling it's because of all the amigurumi, how that's the trend now. Because I don't really make amigurumi, but I have a feeling that's why. But they need to start stocking more of their acrylics and stuff. Like I saw this and I thought, why don't they have this in the store? This is just a really pretty colorway, but that was the one that I was like waiting around for. And then this is the box, and some of these are, I think they're new, because when you look on their listing on Michaels.com, they have like new written there right next to the picture. I don't know when that was updated, but let me go through just the regular acrylics like that, and then I think it's the Impeccables that are the new skeins. Like if they just got rid of like 1/2 aisle of picture frames, and it's not like, I know that my framing is a big part of Michael's business or whatever, but it just seems a little ridiculous to devote so much floor space, especially when my store is smaller than other people's, to picture frames. And it's not like they're all like really ornate, beautiful, hand carved. Like a lot of them are just like aisles of basic picture frames. Like there's nothing really that special about them. I just don't understand why so much floor space is being devoted to that. And then these come, and I'm thinking, none of these, you can't get rid of 1/2 aisle to put these on the shelves in Michael. These are like gorgeous yarns and stuff. I would have bought these a long time ago and not been so disappointed every single time I go into Michael's if they would have had these stocked there. But whatever. So this is like another one of their acrylics. Like this sort of color. It's like greens and grays and blues. Oh, I didn't even describe it in case you need to describe. This one was orange and had like it's kind of like an olivey kind of green and yellow and white and stuff. That's what this one is, that peach one. And but this one right here, it has like green and blue and gray and white in it. And this one's called Bluebird Multi, another really pretty yarn that I would have bought months ago if they had stocked it in my store. But my drink is like dripping out on my table. I'm currently going through rain and stuff, and like on not thunderstorm, or yeah, a thunderstorm watch. And that's why my hair is like kind of frizzy. It's not like Monica in Barbados frizzy, but it's like, you know, it's getting frizzy, and I'm getting kind of like sweaty because the humidity. It's just just irritating. But whatever. And so I had to like wipe that off the table, so I wouldn't put my yarn here and it would get wet. But anyway, and then this one is. This one is sort of like has pastel colors. It has like the blue and the pink and yellow. This is really pastel. But I thought I have an idea for like something to do with any pastels I come across, which I'll talk about in another video because this is going to be way too long anyway. But another 252 yard skein, and this one is called Rockabye Multi. I guess I like Rockabye Baby because it would be perfect for like a baby blanket or something like that. Really pretty. And this one is, and also their yarn is really soft. It's not like they're impeccable, is softer than their regular acrylic, but there's nothing wrong with it. None of them have any kind of scratchiness to it at all, and they have really nice yarn. They just don't stock it in my local store. They may, like I've seen videos on YouTube of people going into their Michaels, and they have all kinds of yarn. I'm thinking, I wish my Michaels was like that. But anyway, it's just not. It's just kind of disappointing. The people in there are so nice, and it's just so disappointing that they don't have that I can't like give them more business, you know, yarn wise. But anyway, this one's called Primrose Multi. It has like a sort of a pinkish red and some greens, and it's just like a really nice kind of like I can't remember the. It just sort of feels like, you know, greens and reds, but they're kind of like muted colors. But it's a really pretty mix of colors. And then this one, which is, you know, extra soft, is another Loops and Threads, and it's called Bo Peep Multi. Like I basically got almost every single one of their like the variegated yarns. I think I got like every single one of them, just so I had them in hand to look at. This is another pretty one. It has like orange and sort of a peach color and white mix. Really nice. When I opened it up, I was like, I cannot believe they don't have it. This one they do have. This is the one multicolored regular acrylic. They have other brands and stuff. I mean other kinds of yarn. I like the 4-weight, the medium 4-weight acrylic yarn. This is the one that they do have in my store, and I didn't like it at first, but then when I paired it with the it's sort of this pinkish purple color, I thought I could probably make something really nice with this. It just seemed kind of like the colors were sort of all over the place, but the more I looked at it, the more I thought it is a really pretty mix of colors. And so I wanted to get one in the box because I hadn't bought one at my local Michaels, and so I went ahead and bought one in the box, and then I ended up buying all the rest of them when I went to Michaels. This is called Fiesta Multi. It is really pretty and colorful and stuff, and this is just really nice. And so that's the one that they have in my store. And then this one, and like these two right here. I've been looking at when I went on Michaels.com, you know, months ago, looking at their yarn. These are the two that I really wanted to see in person, and they never, like, you go in there on Michaels.com and it says like they have the different shipping options, the different like pickup or like whatever, and it says like not sold, like in the store, and so like every single one of them not sold, not sold, not sold. I'm like even okay, I'm sort of skipping all over the place, but the reason why I bought a lot of this other yarn is because they're enablers, and they keep giving me all these vouchers and coupons, and no, it's really nice, but it feels like they're, you know, yarn hoarder enablers, but whatever. And so I went in there and let's see, I just lost my train of thought. Okay, what I was saying was when I went to into Michaels, I thought when I started getting all these vouchers and stuff, I thought, what kind of yarn can I buy in here with these vouchers and these coupons and stuff? And like they don't stock any of the variegated yarns. You know, like it says on Michaels.com, it says like, you know, not sold, not sold. But I thought, well, they'll have at least some basic colors. I can just use these coupons or whatever and buy like the basic colors. And I was thinking about like, you know, Pride coming up and everything, and I thought I can at least get like the 6 primary colors or something. You know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. But then I was looking at the yarn, and like they don't even have that. And so they have like the red is really pretty, and the orange sort of feels kind of like neon Easter egg kind of orange. It just doesn't feel like a really good orange. And then I'm talking about just like the regular loops and threads acrylic. They have it in the other loops, and like the impeccable or whatever it is. They have it, but like I want to, if I'm going to get all 6 colors, I want to get it in the same brand so that they're the same, you know, weight and everything. And the green is they had like a neon and a sort of an olive green, and but the blue, they had like a sort of a light blue, and then they had like a really deep dark navy blue, but they didn't have like the basic kind of like royal blue. And so I thought, they didn't have a space for it, and they just, I thought, were they out of stock or something? And then I went on Michaels.com the other day, and I looked, and that blue is not available in my store. Like, they don't even stock the primary colors. Like, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so that was worth going off on a tangent and forgetting what I was saying. Anyway, so like these 2 colors, I'll just show them together. But these are the 2 that I knew that they had that I just wish that they would have stocked in my store. They're just really pretty. This one has purple and blue, and I seem to be like in my last video, I must have said like, you know, tealish blue a million times. I like, you know, black and everything. I wear black colors all the time, and I do like really vibrant colors. But I think I really like teal too. I used to have a lot of teal stuff in my room when I was younger, so I must like teal deep down. But I do like, you know, blues and teals and stuff. And this one has like some purple and blue, and it's just a really pretty mix of colors. And this one is called Lotus Blossom Multi. Just another one that, like, if they had stocked this, you know, months ago, I would have bought so many skeins of this. I probably would have had a throw blanket already done in this blue. It's really pretty. And then the same with this purple. I probably would have mixed them together. That would make a really pretty throw blanket, like these, you know, back and forth. This one's like purple and pink and blue, and just this one's even better than the blue. This one's called Orchid Mist Multi. Just gorgeous colorways. Why the hell don't they stock these in my store? I just don't get it. Because they would sell. They would sell better than a picture frame. Like, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, and so those are like the main basic acrylics. And then I just got a couple random yarns. The Impeccables, I think, I did list which ones are new, and I feel like I might be like breaking news. I might be the first person that gets to show these off on YouTube. No, I seriously doubt it. I didn't look that hard. But anyway, this one isn't one of their new ones. This is just like, I got one skein of this. It kind of reminded me of that Premier puzzle yarn that I guess I have the urge to use it in something just to see how it works up or whatever, but I just haven't bought any of that yet. But this is a Loops and Threads Impressions, and this is really pretty. It is called Amethyst. And I know in the last video I forgot to mention the name of one of those yarns and stuff, but you can look it up on yarnspirations.com. It's a totally separate thing. But this is called Impressions, and the colorway is Amethyst, and it has like some purple and blue and some, you know, green, like tealish, greenish colors, and it feels like it's a bulky weight yarn, I think. Yeah, number 5 bulky weight, and this actually is bulky weight, and it looks like that puzzle yarn in a way, that kind of that same sort of look, and I'm anxious to work this up to see what it looks like. I don't really know what I'll make with this yet, but it's a really nice. They have a whole bunch of colors. I only got this one color because this one's a little bit more expensive than the regular. But anyway, and then the rest of these are the Loops and Threads Impeccable. Now these skeins are smaller than the regular. And I feel like it says it's a number 4 weight, but on the back it says that you use a 5mm crochet hook. The rest of these say like 5.5. So I feel like this is a lighter. It's not really a 3 weight, but it's definitely a lighter 4 weight. That's why they recommend a smaller hook. So just be aware of that these are like a little bit, they're really soft, and they're just a little bit lighter, but just not completely 3 weight. I mean, not completely 4 weight, but or 3 weight either. It's just kind of like in between. And so I'll have to go down a hook size. I go to number 5 instead of a 5.5. But these are really pretty. I think this one was on clearance, like they're getting rid of it. I don't know why. This is gorgeous, but this is called Hot Sunshine Speckle. I was looking, I saw somebody on YouTube showing off their speckle yarn. It was like an older video, and so it must be they must not sell the speckle anymore or something. I have no idea. I didn't look too hard into it, but when I searched Loops and Threads speckle, this is the only one that came up, and it was clearance yarn, and so I bought this one. I have a list of I make notes and lists of all kinds of things because you know how my brain works. I'm all over the place, and I lose my train of thought so easily. And so I'm not the kind of person that has a notebook with me all the time and make lists and all that stuff, so I don't forget things. And yet I still forget things. But I know I made a list of like all the yarns so that I would know which ones were the new and which ones were not. But let me pause it. Okay, this one was the clearance yarn. See how pretty this is? Like, why would they get rid of this? Did people not buy this or something? Or maybe they didn't know it existed because it's only on Michaels.com. Or not everywhere, but you know, for me it is. And then I was digging through this to look. There is another basic acrylic. This has sort of a grayish color, and then some black, and then some brown, and then, like little specks of green. And I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it's kind of cool. This one's called the Granite Multicolorway. So that's really cool. I'll use that for something real nice and masculine. But anyway, and then let me see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 impeccable yarns that say new. They have like the picture on the website, and it says new right next to it. The colorways that are new are Meadow Flower, Hydrangea, Ocean Sun, Greenery, Spring Tulips, New Galaxy, and Forsythia Branch. And so I don't know which ones are which, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, all of these except for this one. This one isn't new. This is like really soft. It's Loops and Threads, and it's like red, and they have a lot of colors in this. I want to get the red because I thought that was the prettiest one. But it's this one, and it's called Red Moline, or Moline, or I don't know how you say it. Doesn't really matter. M-O-U-L-I-N-E. But really nice, pretty red with some sort of a burgundy-ish red in between, like this the stripe of it. It's really nice, and so the rest of these are the new colors. And I looked at these and I thought, if these are new, why aren't they in the store? Like, you know, just knock a couple shelves of frames out of the way, just, you know, temporarily, and put these on my shelf. Anyway, they're really like pretty colorways. This one is called, they're all the impeccable skeins. Forsythia Branch. This is the Forsythia Branch Multi. It has like some sort of a goldish color, and kind of a like a greenish grayish color, and white and tans and stuff. Like really nice. Like they should have this on their shelves. I mean, I hate to like be really negative, but like, do they want to end up like Joanne? Like, it's really sad what's happening with Joanne and everything, and people losing their jobs and stuff, and a big source of yarn for a lot of crocheters and a lot of just people that enjoy to crochet, like the people that make their business to crochet. They're losing a big source of yarn and stuff. Does Michaels want to end up like that? I mean, come on, like stock the yarn and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I wanted to add to this video. I bought a couple of those grab boxes a couple weeks ago, and but I feel like this video is going to be way long anyway. But I'll show off the 2 skeins of yarn that I got in those boxes. But I didn't know that they did that with Michaels, having those big boxes of just like their overstock and selling them for like $10 a piece or whatever. And so I just thought that was so cool. And then I ended up getting 2 boxes. And but like, at the same time, if you look at it on the surface, the fact that they have so much knick-knack kind of crap. If they have so much knick-knack kind of, I could say some cuss words. The fact that they have so much knick-knack kind of stuff, or craft stuff, or like whatever, that they have to get rid of it by throwing it all in boxes and selling it for $10 or sometimes $5 a box. that should tell you that like that stuff that's in that box, other than that yarn, should not be the focus. The focus of the store should be on their craft stuff, and especially with Joann closing, they should, you know, stock more yarn, stock more craft stuff instead of like some of the stuff that's in there, or the more expensive things, or like whatever. I don't know. I just feel like if they stocked more yarn, they would make it up, you know, selling this than they would, you know, selling, like, I got these two, like, really, 2 or 3 really big pieces of, like, acrylic sheets, and I'm gonna use it for something for my niece, but they're so nice, and the price was, the regular price on it was so expensive. I couldn't believe it was worth the $20 on the 2 boxes alone just for that. But I thought, do they really need to stock that in the store? How often are they going to sell that? But, you know, they would sell yarn and a lot quicker than they would that. And so that's why that expensive piece of acrylic ended up in a box, or 2 of them. And, but, you know, the yarn, but you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I just, you know, go off on rants and tangents all the time. It doesn't matter. This is the Ocean Sun Multi. Just really nice, like sort of a greenish yellow and blues, and just like a really like summery, beachy colorway. Just really nice. I don't know what I'll do with these, because these are thinner yarns, and I only got 1 of each, and so I don't know what I can make with just 1 skein of this, because it is smaller than like a regular skein of acrylic. But I will do something really nice with these, because they're such nice color mixes. But this is the greenery multi, and it has like just all kinds of greens and a little bit of a like a dusty kind of gray in there too. But it's a nice mix of colors. And then this one, which is just another gorgeous yarn, pinks and purples and blues, and this one's called, this is the Hydrangea multi. Just why don't they have this in the store? I'm gonna say that, I'm gonna repeat myself so many times. And then this one has like is like grays and whites and blacks stuff. This is the new Galaxy one. Really nice, basic kind of colors, and I do like these kind of colors too. And then this one feels a little like Nickelodeon-ish to me. It has like lime green and like just sort of like the Nickelodeon orange, and it just sort of feels a little nostalgic when I looked at this colorway. And it has like some pink in it, like some vibrant pink. And this one's called Spring Tulips Multi. This should be called like Nickelodeon, 90s Nick orange. No, 90s Nick Multi. And then this is just like a really pretty mix of colors right here. This one's called this is the Meadow Flower Multi. But just I wanted to get all these yarns because they're so pretty, and they just don't stock them in my store. Like, I mean, look at that. Like, if that was on the shelf, it wouldn't be on the shelf because people would buy it all the time. I don't know, it's just frustrating. Anyway, let me put this in there, and then I'll get to the bags, like literally bags and bags and bags of yarn. Hang on. Okay, well, let me, just to get this out of the way, these are the 2 skeins of yarn that I got in those Michael's grab boxes or whatever, because you can, when they tape it up really well, unfortunately, and but you can see the little, like where you put your hand in, you can see it in there. You can kind of get a glimpse of like what's in the box or whatever, and like they recently had a bunch of boxes that you could tell it was just Christmas stuff, and so I love Christmas. I still have my Christmas tree up. That's a whole other story. I've had it up for years, and I just love it. It's just, you know, a wonderful thing to see. But we love Christmas, and but it was just like nothing but Christmas stuff, and so I didn't buy any boxes then. But you can kind of get a glimpse, and you know, through that little hand hole at what's in the boxes. And I saw these 2 skeins of yarn, like 1 skein in each box, and so that's why I bought those grab boxes. And so this is the skein, I guess, that they got rid of. Another pretty skein. Why would they get rid of this? Because it's really pretty. And now, like, I have 2 skeins. I pulled a little bit out just to see what it would look like, you know, all pulled out. And I thought, like, I'm gonna end up, you know, using this for, like, finding the perfect thing to use this for, and then I'm only gonna have 2 because they discontinued this, I guess. But you know, it's the Impeccable, and the colorway is called Purple Impression. Purple Impression. I don't see any purple. A couple strands of dark purple in there, but Purple Impression. I would have called it something else. Maybe they took it out to call it something better than that. I don't know. But anyway, just really nice. It kind of reminds you of like Arizona kind of colors, like just the kind of orangeness, the sort of terracotta orange, and it sort of reminds you of like, you know, southwestern, you know, Arizona kind of color, you know, or whatever. And so I have those too, and but they came in the Michaels grab boxes. But let me get to the bags. Hang on. Okay, I don't know which bag is which because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's another bag in one of these that I know was a separate order. I don't really know the timeline because it's just all become a big blur. But they were having that big sale, like the biggest sale of the season or something, and where you could go in and depending on how much you spend, you could get vouchers and stuff. And they were sending you coupons and everything, and all the yarn was 30% off. And so then they sent me a couple coupons where it was like $5 off $15 or more, and $5 off. And then if you spend like $15 in one trip, you get a $5 voucher. If you spend $25, you get another $5 voucher. Like all this yarn, and I'm still, I feel like I'm going to be getting like at least 2 $5 vouchers. So there's going to be even more, but God, as if I need any more. But so I don't really know which trip is which because some of it is kind of mixed together now. But because I bought all that yarn on Michaels.com, I ended up getting a $15 voucher. And so I went in there, I thought, okay, I bought all this yarn on Michaels.com, and I already have all the yarn inspirations, all the Joanne, so I don't need any, and all the yarn that I have in my stash already. So I thought oh God, I hate that when I do that. I have so much yarn, and so when I bought that yarn on Michaels.com, I thought, okay, I'm done. You know, that's it. And then they sent me a $15 voucher, and I thought, okay, well, I'll go in there and I'll find something. I was gonna, you could use it on their website, but unless you spend $49 or more, you have to pay for shipping. So I thought I'll find something in there, so just some basic colors or something. I'll spend the $15. And then while I was in there, I did get a couple skeins of the $15 yarn. I mean, not $15 a skein. I did spend the $15 on some yarn, and then I was looking around, and they had some that was clearanced, and it was yarn that I would never really pick because it's not the weight that I'm used to. I've bought thick yarn before, but I don't know. It's not the kind of yarn that I use for a lot of the things that I do, but they had it like really cheap, and so I bought all this clearance yarn, and just that one trip alone was like, even with the $15 voucher, it was like, you know, 90-some dollars. It was just ridiculous. But I couldn't pass this yarn up because I could make, you know, all kinds of things with it. I've already made, so like one of these skeins isn't even in here because I made a scarf already. It's, I mean, it's just a really nice, the skein, it made the perfect, it was like the perfect amount for a scarf. And I look like an idiot in anything. Maybe I'm just, you know, being, but it's a really nice scarf with it. I just feel like I look like an idiot wearing scarves and stuff, but you know, this is me. But it's just really nice. I tried to do my EG stitch with this thick yarn, but it didn't look as good as the dash moss that I did. And so this is what the scarf looks like, and has like the fringe on the end of it and everything. It's kind of like a sort of a neutral grayish sort of color, and just a really nice yarn. It's the loops and threads. There's all kinds of different colors. Where's that gray? It's this one. It's like this big bulky yarn, and I think it's a number 6. Yeah, super bulky, number 6. And the colorway is called Drizzle, and which is weird that it's called that. Like it's kind of like a neutral sort of grayish color. There is one skein in here that has like a couple speckles of color in it. I don't think that was intentional, but it's a really nice, like, super bulky yarn. See, I'm just not really used to this kind of yarn, but I thought, I'm not really crazy about the look and the feel of like Bernat blanket yarn for blankets. I've seen them in Goodwill all worked up, and it just, I'm just not crazy about the look of that yarn and just the feel of it. It's just an odd kind of yarn. But this is like, it's super bulky, but it's it actually feels like yarn. I know that's yarn, but like, you know what I'm saying. This just sort of feels like yarn. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I bought like a bunch of those, And so they had, these were only $3 a skein. So I couldn't pass the deal up. I mean, I could use, just like one of these skeins could make a scarf. It only costs $3 to get the yarn. And like this is, they only had one of these, which I was really disappointed in. This one, all these are the loops and threads ring spun. And I looked on Michaels.com. This is still available. I guess what I was hoping for is that the fact that they were getting rid of some of these, I thought that they were going to be making room for, like, you know, some of these really nice acrylics, but like that side of the aisles are just all the bulky yarns and the blanket yarn and stuff, and it's all the acrylic on the other side. So they're not making room for more acrylic. They're just, you know, making room for, you know, more bulky yarn or something. So that kind of sucks. But I guess that my store was just making room because they only have like 3 aisles to put stuff in. For more yarn or whatever, but I don't think that this is being discontinued because it's still available on Michaels.com. The last time I checked, but this colorway is called Tranquil Multi. Just really pretty. I only had one of these, and then some of these I bought like most of these in one trip. But then the next trip I got, or the next trip I went, when I got another coupon. They had, I guess they had found a couple more in the back and they put them out, and so I got a couple more. I like the orange colorway, whatever that is. But so I did get a couple extras. But they only had one of these, so that's a really nice one. And then the purplish one is cool too. They only had 2 of these. And one of them was in the wrong spot, so I ended up coming across that one. This one is called Concord Multi, you know, like a Concord gray, because it is like a sort of a purplish colorway. Just really pretty. I want to make something really nice with all this yarn. I probably have enough to make some scarves and probably some hats and a blanket or 2. I don't know, but and so that's all the purple and that bluish kind of color that I got. And now here's like the grays, like that whatever it's called. I can't remember. I just said it. For God's sake, drizzle. So I got like let's see, 1, 2, and then like 3 because I already made the scarf, and then 4, 5, 6, 7. So I got 7 of those. And there's that one with the speckle in it or something. Every time I've been down in my last video, you can see my bald spot. So, like I said, I'm almost 40 years old. But whatever, doesn't matter. I'm not a vain person. I don't really care. Obviously, I don't know. There was one of them that had like some speckle in it. It just didn't seem like it was intentional. It just seemed like it was left over from when they sprayed the yarn, or the color of the yarn. But I don't know. I'm not gonna try to find it right now. But anyway, so I got those, and then it doesn't. I'll just skip around. But I did get like the $15 worth. I got, what I was worried about was I wanted to spend the $15, but I was afraid that I couldn't use that coupon or the voucher for the clearance yarn. So I went ahead and got $15 worth of like random yarn anyway, just to make sure that I could use the voucher. Because I would have hated to have all this yarn and then I couldn't use the voucher. And so they did have a couple impeccables, but there's so many of them that they don't have, which is just disappointing. So this is the impeccable stripes, and this is called unicorn stripe, and just like baby colors, like the baby pastel colors, purple and pink and sort of a mint color and yellow, and a really pretty colorway. And then I did get one of those. I feel like I'm getting a lot of. I feel like I've gotten one of these at least one of these in every trip that I've gone to Michaels. It feels like they don't have any more of this left because I've gotten it all basically. And this, the Fiesta Multi, so I got one of those. And then this is the purplish, pinkish color that I thought would go. Well, it looks purple, but it has like a little bit of a pinkish hue to it too. And this one is called raspberry. And they have this like sort of next to each other in the store, and I feel like these would go really well together. And so every time I got some of this, I would get one of these. So like for every two, this first trip I just bought like one of each. But ever since then, every time I would get one of these, I would get two of these, because these are like smaller skeins, and I just feel like these would go really well together. I feel like I have enough of this now, these two colors, to make like a really pretty throw blanket. And because I bought so much every single time I went in there, so it just they match. And I love when stores like put the skeins together that match. Hobby Lobby does that sometimes too, or that's how they have their yarn in there. And then this is another Loops and Threads Impeccable. This is called Light Pink Moline, or whatever it is, doesn't matter. And it has like some like silvery gray, and then like some kind of burgundy spiraled into it. It's a really pretty mix of colors. And like some of these I wouldn't think to get, because this isn't like something like I would look at this and I wouldn't think that this would be something I would like. But I'm starting to like be more open-minded. I want to get colors that I'm not really used to, and to force myself to kind of like branch out from all the colors that I use all the time. I wanted to kind of experiment with other colors and stuff. And this is completely unrelated. So while I'm talking about it, let me talk about it. But like I said, I'm teaching my niece how to crochet, and I was teaching her how to change colors. And I wanted to just grab some cheap yarn out of my stash or whatever, because I didn't want to use some good yarn just to teach her how to crochet the changing colors. And so this mix of color, like it doesn't even have a label. It was like some yarn that I came with a big bag of yarn at Goodwill. It was either Goodwill or Salvation Army or somewhere where I bought a bag of yarn, and this was in it. And and I kind of put it aside because I thought it's kind of not really that nice looking and just sort of dull colors. It has like a sort of a dirty pink kind of color, and kind of an almost olive green, or like and like some browns and tan. It just doesn't look like. In the skein, it just doesn't look very good. But then when I was crocheting up a little swatch so that I could teach my niece how to change colors and stuff, and weave in her ends and like all that, I was looking at that swatch and I was thinking, how can the swatch look better than the skein? And like I always knew that there's skeins of yarn where they look really nice in the skein, but then when you work it up, it doesn't look the way that it does in the skein. It can be kind of disappointing. But I had no idea that it could be the reverse, where the skein looks kind of crappy, but then when you crochet it up, it actually looks really nice. Like it just sort of blew my mind, and it made me feel better about all the yarn that I bought at Yarn Inspirations, where some of the colors just aren't the colors that I would normally pick. But I feel like it may not look the kind of yarn that I would particularly like, but it may actually crochet up really nice and surprise me, because this totally surprised me. I just thought, this is some old skein, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's just going to stay in my stash all this time. I'm going to be spending years trying to get rid of this. But then I made a bookmark, because after I'd made that little piece for my niece to weave in the ends and change colors and stuff, I thought I want to make this, see what it looks like and actually liking it. I want to see what it looked like in a bookmark, and I haven't steamed these yet or anything, or weaved in the ends, but it looks really not. I couldn't believe how nice it looked in a bookmark. I mean, I would never think to like, if this was in the store like brand new, I would never buy this, but it looks so nice. I mean, and I made like a this is for the I'm gonna make trade paperback bookmarks, and then mass market paperback bookmarks. And so just really not, I know I would never think that like pink and white and green and like a tannish brown or whatever would go well together, but it really does. It looks really nice. So anyway, so like when I buy colors like this, I don't judge them as much as I would before, where I think, oh, that's probably not going to look very good. It might actually look really good. So I'm trying to branch out and use different colors that I wouldn't normally use. So anyway, and then the other skein I got in that order, going back to that, is another Impeccable, and it's called Orchid Multi. And so this has like, this is really nice. It has like some pinks and kind of like a dark peach and some whites, and just a really nice, impeccable colorway. And so, and that's not even all. Okay, so that's all in this bag. Let me get another one. Okay, I was putting this back in the bag. This is the one that has like some streaks of color in it. It just doesn't feel like it's supposed to be there. I don't even know if it's going to pick up on camera. It just sort of feels like there are these areas where there's like a little bit of a purple or a pinkish color or something mixed in where it's not supposed to be there. But you know, it's all going to blend in later or whatever. I don't know, but it must have just been when they were like spraying the yarn or something. I have no idea. But anyway, this is just a random thing. But I was putting my yarn over here, and this is my bag with all my crochet hooks and stuff in it. I found this on Amazon. See, it has Lucy on it. I'm a huge fan of I Love Lucy, and I have a big collection. This could be another thing I'm going to be talking about in my my videos and my website network, whatever. But it just says peace, love, and Lucy, and it's a really cool picture of Lucy. But anyway, that's just a completely random story. And this is another one of the loops and threads ring spun colorways. It's kind of like a brownish, like almost burgundy, but it's more brown than burgundy mix of colors, and it's called Super Sweet Multi, and just really pretty, and like $3 a piece for these. Like, how could you I think the regular price of these was like $7.99 or something, so it was, you know, $3 a piece clearance. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I got 6 of those. And then this isn't, there's more ring spun in one of the other bags, but I'll talk about these because they had these cakes, and I actually got to buy some Karen cakes. In my old stash, I feel like I had gotten it at Goodwill or whatever. There was a little cake of yarn that I made it, or I used it for like a shawl for somebody, and or part of a shawl, and it was I went in my old videos and looked, and because I thought, was that a Karen cake? No, that was a Bernat cake. So I actually have bought Bernat and used it, but it was just one that I didn't buy brand new. I bought it at like Goodwill or whatever. But so I don't think I've bought any Karen even from like a thrift store or something. So this is like the first Karen that I bought. So they had these cinnamon swirl cakes, and these like how many yards are these? 407. Wait, yeah, 407 yards of yarn. These are really pretty and soft. I can't believe how soft the cakes were. Cinnamon swirl cakes, and the colorway is called Marble, and just really nice. Kind of like some blues and greens and white. It's sort of like almost pastel colors, but there's more ivory-ish kind of colors in there, more than the other colors. But it's just like these really nice cakes, and these were $5, and I don't know, I can't remember how much they are originally, but these were only $5 for a cake, and because these cakes are usually expensive, and so I bought both of the cakes. These were on clearance. I don't know if I feel like I don't think these are discontinued or like clearance because they're getting rid of these colorways. I feel like they're clearance because they're trying to make room for more yarn. Hopefully they're not doing that so they can downsize it and just have like 2 aisles of yarn or 2 half aisles or whatever, but that would suck. But hopefully they're doing that to make room for better yarn and more yarn or whatever. Although, you know, I should have seen some clearance stickers on all their picture frames, but whatever. So I got 2 of those. They had like 2 of these. And what's funny is like I've said in my other video, I'm not crazy about cotton yarn. I've tried to crochet with cotton yarn because it's such a nightmare for me to work with cotton yarn. I just don't really like it. And when I was looking at all these cakes that they had on clearance, I picked up one and I thought, oh, this is really nice too. It's like it looks a little bigger, and it was $5. But I thought, God, it feels so rough and it's like thin or whatever. I'm not really crazy about it. So I was looking at like, why is this so rough and just awful? And then I looked, it was like Karen cotton. And so I thought, oh, no wonder. And what's funny is, as many times as I've been up there in the past few days getting all this yarn and stuff, you know, for the sale, because I think the sale just ended yesterday. As many times I've been up there, all the clearance yarn is gone except for those big cotton cakes. Like, I'm not the only one that's not crazy about cotton yarn, I guess. Or it just didn't feel very good. But anyway, and then so the other big cakes or whatever. These are Karen big cakes, and so there's 2 of these, and the color is called Nightberry, and I'm really like huge, like $5 for these cakes. I couldn't pass it up, and these are more than is 603 yards. Just really nice cakes of yarn. So I have 2 of those, or no, I got 3 of those of these cakes. So for $5 a piece, and so that's probably enough to make a throw blanket right here, maybe, depending on the stitch or whatever. But I could. $15 for all this yarn, that's just insane. So anyway, that's another bag. And then this is the ring spun. There's the orange and a little bit of yellow in it. It's called Coral Reef Multi, and they had a bunch of these. I don't know why, because this one's other than that blue. This is prettier than all the. I mean the blue and the purple. Other than those, this is prettier than even the that kind of burgundy-ish color. So I don't know why they had so much of this. Nobody wanted it, but or maybe they're just getting rid of it. It got an overstock or something. But I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, got 7 of those, and then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. And I don't know if I'll pair this with that, or if I'll use this and maybe pair this with the grayish kind of color, or what. But this is sort of like a dullish orange, or tawny. Maybe that's a better word to use. Tawny. It's a tawny orange, Tawny. But it's kind of like a sort of feels like a chalky kind of orange. But it's a real nice. I don't know if it would go well with this, or if I have so much of this that I could make something with just that color, and then pair this with the gray, because it is kind of like a grayish kind of orange color. But $5 for each of those. So I got 4, 5, 6 of these. So, and I feel like that was like two orders of yarn, or 2 trips to Michael's for the yarn. And then of course I buy all this, and then they send me another voucher, or they send me another coupon, or both, and I just keep going back or whatever to use them. And that's why I feel like it's sort of, I'm jokingly saying that they're like enablers, wanting you to keep coming back and buying more yarn. But I'm glad I did, but you know what I'm saying. And so this is another bag, and so I don't know if this was a voucher day or a coupon day or both. I have no idea. There was one day I went up there, and I had a voucher for, I think, a $5 voucher, and then I had a coupon that was $5 off, $15 or more. But I don't think you could use them together, so I wanted to use them both that day. Because like every single time I went up there, I was thinking, okay, this is probably going to be the day that one skein of yarn is going to come from the U.S. Postal Service. It's going to come in the mail, and I'm gonna, I need to be done with the buying or whatever, because I want to have all the yarn for the video. But then it still wouldn't come. But what would come would be another coupon, and then I'd have to go up there and get some. I wouldn't have to, but you know what I'm saying. I'd go up there and get some more yarn, and so I just made all kinds of trips and stuff. I'm glad I did, because this is sort of a one-time thing throughout the year, I guess. This big, lowest prices of the season thing. But I'm not, familiar with all the sales at Michael's, because I just don't shop there as often as I would like to. But I'm making up for lost time. No, so I don't know which trip is which. And as I'm saying this, I feel like there's one thing I need to say about a trip to Michael's. Hang on. Keychain. That's a story. Or I'm sure it's on this mess of thing I wrote down. But like I said, most of the almost every trip I bought some more of this. So like for every time I bought one of these, I would buy 2 of the Fiesta. And so I feel like the Fiesta is a little thinner than this regular. So hopefully it'll work together. But I just feel like it's just a slightly thinner. It still says 5.5. A millimeter crochet hook and everything, and I mean, of course the skeins I'm not talking about the skeins. I'm talking about the yarn itself. It just feels a little thinner, although it may not be. Maybe it's just holding them together, and like this being a bigger skein than this, maybe it sort of feels that way. But I'm going to try to mix them together, because they just match so well. And so I bought two of the kind of purplish colors, and then 4 of the Fiestas. And so I need to like separate all this out now and try to count how many of all these I have. So far I have 5 of the Fiestas and 3 of the what is it, raspberry? Yeah, 3 of those. And then this was this was the day where I had the $5 off, $15 or more. That was, you know, that yarn. And then I went back in with my $5 voucher and I bought this, and this is only like 64 cents after the $5 voucher. Loops and Threads, Torsade, I know I'm reading the foreign language, Carousel Twist, and it just really pretty. And where's the color? Tide Pool. And it's kind of like it's a little, it feels like it's a little bit bulkier than a regular yarn, like a number 4 medium weight, but it still says, it says bulky 5, and it says you use a 5.5 millimeter. It feels like some of their yarn must be like I've seen regular number 4 weight acrylic that is the same weight as this, so this just doesn't feel bulky to me, because I've felt regular acrylic, like even this sort of feels the same kind of weight as this, even though this is bulky and this is supposed to be number 4 weight. So I know it varies, but between the kinds of yarn or whatever, but it just doesn't feel like bulky, which I'm glad. But it feels a little bit thinner than a bulky weight. So but it's the kind of weight that I like. And but anyway, so this is kind of like a kind of a mint green kind of color with some blue twisted in, a little bit of yellow or green or whatever mixed in. Just really cool color. And I went back one of the trip, my last trip, and I got every one of the colors of this, so I have one of each of those. But anyway, this is another bag. Oh, this is one I got yesterday. Hang on. So one of my other voucher days or whatever, and so I got one of these, another one of these. So I got 2 of those Fiestas and then another one of these. So see, I have like enough to make a blanket, just those colors. And then I needed to get 4 more skeins to get the coupon or whatever. And so I got the just a regular kind of basic colors. This one is a lime green. Or it's called Limeade, but it's got like a lime green. I don't really have a lot of like neon sort of colors, and so what I thought this would pair well with is I have Red Heart Super Saver Blacklight, and I wasn't really crazy about Blacklight. I've seen it look better online, other people working up. I thought my skein looked a little bit dull, but it's growing on me. I actually like it now. But I feel like the neon colors in this will match really well with it. I don't know what I would make with it, but I just feel like I have a big skein of that Blacklight, and I can use it up and kind of mix this in. Like if I make a bookmark out of the Blacklight, I could use this for the tassel, or I just feel like this matches that because of all the neon colors in the Blacklight. So I don't really know what I'll mix them and make them. What I'll mix and make out of them, but they'll match together. And then this one is sort of a what's this color? Arctic. It feels like it's kind of like a really neutral kind of grayish blue color. It's really nice, and like I don't have any colorway like this in my stash, and I'll use that for something too. And then I have this one. It's like I got 2 of the pinks that they had. This is like sort of like an Easter egg kind of pastel pink, but it's a really pretty delicate kind of pink color. And I thought I do need like a color that pink that like I do need a pink color that's like this, and so it's light pink, and it is light pink. It's a really nice light pink color. And then this one is sort of a like a dusty pink kind of color. It's not like vibrant neon pink, but it's like a sort of a dusty pink. And this is called Pink Rose, or no, I guess it's just called Pink and then / Rose. But it's a really nice pink color. It doesn't, like I've seen pinks where they're more pink than this. It sort of feels a little muted, like a muted sort of pink, instead of just like a basic pink. But it's a really nice pink color. So I bought those in one trip. And And then this is the last trip that I went on. This was yesterday. So I bought another one of these, and then I think the last two of the Fiestas. I hate to be a shelf clearer. I'm not usually that kind of person. I usually, well, like even when I went to Hobby Lobby last year and they had that clearance yarn, I never like cleared a shelf. I'm getting to the point where I'm okay with it. But I feel like, you know, and I don't want to say the word, but you know what I'm saying. I feel like that if I, you know, clear a shelf and take the yarn, but I don't know. See, it's not. I'm not crazy to think this, but see, this yarn is thinner than like the regular yarn. I hope that the colors work. I mean, I hope the skeins work well together. But I got these two. But like the center pull right here. Look how thin this is. I cannot believe how. I need to block my face. Get my face out of the frame so it won't do it. But look how thin this is. Just pulling out the center pull. Oh, yarn barf. Oh, okay. So it just kind of oh, what the hell? That wasn't even attached to anything. They probably just like stuffed it in there to make the weight for the machine. God, that's frustrating. And there's been a couple skeins. This is not, you know, because of Michael's. I've experienced this with other stores too, where they actually they don't care that you can actually see a knot on the outside of the skein. You know, it's one thing to have it like, you know, in the middle of it and you think, oh god, but you're like already into it. But I've seen skeins where like there's a knot on the outside where you can actually see it. Anyway, so okay, the yarn's fine now after the nice short color changes. This is gonna be really nice to work with. But why the hell? Whatever. So I think that's all of those skeins. So let's count how many, if you haven't done that already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of these, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the bigger skeins. So I got all those, and because I like this, the carousel twist, I got all the ones that they had of that. So they had like a pink color. It has a little bit of blue mixed in too, and this one is called Tickled Pink, and so that's a really nice, pretty one. And then like a peach kind of color. It has a, you know, a little bit of mix of colors in it, and this one's just called Orange Fizz Peach. Whatever, but it's, you know, nice. They all kind of match together. If I can't, what I want to do, I made myself some fingerless gloves. I made them a little too long, but the reason why I made myself fingerless gloves, I'm not really the type of person to wear gloves, but because I compulsively wash my hands. It's an OCD thing. But the like, you know, literal OCD. But during the winter, my hands get dry and cracked anyway, but with my compulsive hand washing, it just gets even worse. And so I want to make myself some fingerless gloves to, you know, kind of block it. And I did make my fingerless gloves. They came up too far on my fingers. So I wanted to make them a little longer than, you know, I should have. And so I want to make some fingerless gloves, and I feel like this yarn would make really pretty fingerless gloves, and so I'm going to try to do that with this, unless I think of something else to use it for. But they would make really pretty gloves. And then more of the carousel, and those were like the main, like, sort of colorful ones, and then they had these that are kind of like sort of remind me of a tweed in a way a little bit. But this one is called jean shorts. Oh yeah, that's a good name for it. Kind of like a denim sort of blue, and with some white mixed in. Just a nice mix of colors. And then this one is the castle, and it's kind of like a gray with a little bit of blue and green and white mixed in. Really nice. See, like something like this, I would never buy something like this, but I thought I want to branch out and buy. I'm gonna have enough yarn to last me for a year. I'm not gonna or much longer than that. I'm probably never gonna. As I say this. I'm probably never gonna have to buy any yarn for a while. No, I already have a list of some yarns that I would like to try in the future. I want to try that Premier Puzzle. I want to try that Ice Yarns, the Rainbow Picasso, and I want to try Vanna White's. She has a really pretty colorway, Denim Mist. I want to try that, but not right now. Anyway, and I got another Impeccable. They had the Glacier multi, and really nice Impeccable yarn, and it just feels a little thinner. It not a 3-weight, but it feels like a thinner 4, and but it'll match all the other ones that I have, these Impeccable skeins. And then they had this Impeccable, which is called Apricot multi, and you know, very like yellow, brown, tan color. Like apricot's a really good name for that. And then this one, oh, this is another one of those carousel twist, and this is called Biscuit. Something like this is what I'm talking about. Like I wouldn't think that this would be something I would buy, but I don't want to judge it. You know, see, it's already, there's a little area that's messed up. See, I would think, oh, we need to fix that, you know, before we send this skein out. But whatever, they just put it in there. But it has like a little bit of brown and some orange mixed in it, but it's mainly like an ivory, sort of a yellowish ivory color. Really, but I wouldn't think that I would buy this, but I don't want to judge it anymore. I want to, you know, get it because I feel like it's going to make something really nice, and it may work up really, like, shock me and work up really nice. And I got another lime green because I have a huge skein. It's one of those like jumbo skeins of the black light. So this is a really nice neon green. So that's basically, wait. Oh yeah, that's basically all the Michaels yarn that I got. But it's not all the yarn that I bought. Actually, this is sort of like a bonus thing, I guess. I'll add it at the end, but because it sort of involves the Michaels yarn. I can do that later. I went to Hobby Lobby because I had, it was the day that I had the 2 coupons, and I didn't want to. I don't have the guts to say, can I go through and have 2 transactions so that I can use this coupon with the first transaction and this coupon with the second? I'm sure there are people that do that, but I would just rather use a coupon and then, you know, like leave for a little while and then come back and use the second coupon. That's just how I am as a person. But and so that's what I did, and so I used the $5 off, $15 or more coupon, and then I went. I left for just a few minutes, and then I came back and then acted like, you know, I had another coupon because of what I just bought, but I just had the other coupon. And what I needed to do was I needed to get my niece a tape measure for her crochet, and I knew they probably had one at Michael's, and but I thought I'll run it right up the street to Hobby Lobby and get it there, just so I have an excuse to like be out of the store so I can come back and you know, use my other coupon. And so I bought a little, it's like a little kitty thing that has a little pom-pom that you pull, and it's a little tape measure. It's only $1.99 at Hobby Lobby. And then but I thought, okay, I have all this yarn, and I keep saying to myself, okay, that's enough. And I feel like, you know, people are gonna say, you know, you're a yarn hoarder and stuff, but I don't do this very often. This is just like all these sales and stuff going on, and I have some money or whatever, so I thought I need this sort of an investment, because I'm not just crocheting as a hobby. Of course it's a hobby, and I'm really enjoying crocheting and making all kinds of things, but I'm also it feels like an investment, because I want to start to make things that, or I've already started making things, but I just haven't put it all online yet to sell, and so it feels like an investment in a business, because I want to start selling the crochet. But anyway, so whatever, I lost my train of thought. But I went into Hobby Lobby, and I thought, oh, okay, and I felt like I bought all this yarn. I bought all the yarn inspirations. I bought the Joanne yarn that I didn't expect to buy, and now I have all this Michael's yarn. And I thought, I don't need any more yarn, so I'm gonna go into Hobby. It was a 30% off week 2, and I thought I'm gonna completely avoid the yarn aisle. So I went in there, and I thought I just need a tape measure. That's all I need. And so I went over there to where the fabric was, because I thought that would be where the little tape measure was. It was kind of hard to find, even though it was over there. I was kind of hanging off this thing on the side. But in my store, the yarn is like in that back corner, like right next to the fabric. But I thought, you know, I'm just going to avoid the yarn, because I don't need to look at it. I don't need any yarn. I don't care if it's 30% off. It's going to be 30% off the week after the next, and so I don't need any yarn because I got plenty. And so I was over there at the fabric, and they have like a little clearance section. They have a couple of sections in the store. Hang on, it's 19 minutes. But they have a couple sections in the store where they put all their clearance stuff, and sometimes they just put the clearance stickers on things and leave them there on the shelf where it normally is. But they do have a designated clearance section, like at least one on each side of the store. And the clearance section in the fabric is usually where they put the scraps of yarn, or like the remnants of yarn, where they've like cut yarn and they have like a little bit left, but it's not enough to sell as a yard, and so they just kind of wrap it up and sell it there. And so I knew that they had that little clearance section or whatever, but I've never really seen yarn there. And so I thought, I'm going to completely avoid the yarn. I'm just going to get a tape measure. And so I was over there like looking, like, where the hell is the damn... Well, that's not too bad. I cuss way worse than that. Where's the tape? It's so easy for me to do. Where's the tape measure? I couldn't find it. And they had like all the scissors and all the needles and all the pins and like all that. They didn't have the tape measures, and so I was like looking over there, like trying to find it. And then I thought, there's yarn over there in the clearance section, and I thought I didn't want to get yarn, but you know, it was in the clearance section, and so I thought I wanted to get it because, you know, it's, you know, nice yarn or whatever, and it's cheap and everything, and so it felt like sort of like, well, I've already bought all this other yarn, so what's another couple dollars for some yarn? You know, it's not like it's gonna be any more than all the other yarn that I bought, so you might as well. It sort of feels like that, where, like, you know, if you're on a diet and you take a bite of something and you just think, well, I've already taken a bite, might as well eat the whole cake. You know what I'm saying? It just feels like that. And so I saw this yarn. It was only like a couple skeins or whatever, so I thought I might as well get it and use it for something. And so this is a adorable Pinkaboo, and it's like baby bee yarn. It's like $1.24 for this skein. This feels like I probably took this. Somebody that makes amigurumi probably would have loved to find this, but because it feels like that kind of yarn that people use for amigurumi. But I'm gonna make like some. I've made some scrunchies, and I have a lot of chenille yarn, and that I'm going to be using for that. But this feels like I can make a scrunchie out of a couple scrunchies out of this. And what was weird is some of this yarn, it was already, or it was still on the shelf as brand new. And I checked, like, I was thinking, why is this in the clearance section? Is it because, like, the weight has changed, or they changed the price, or like what's different about this compared to the yarn that is still on the shelf that they're selling brand new? But I have a feeling they just, like, you know, maybe it's just messed up a little bit or whatever. Like, there's one skein in here that just looks a little messed up, so maybe they just put it in the clearance because of that, which isn't a good advertisement, because then people are just going to go in there and like pull it all out and think, oh, they're going to put that in the clearance section next week. I don't know. It feels like that, because, like, why would they put this there and then still sell it in the regular section, unless they just haven't put the price stickers on these yet. But I don't know. They're a pretty pink color. Oh, I didn't even say the colorway name. Doesn't matter. Pink. Oh yeah, it did. Pinkaboo. That's the actual colorway name. They need to do that in more stores, or more yarn. But put the colorway name like really big like that for me, so I don't have to sit there and go like this looking for it. And then there's two of these. They're called Yarn Bee Tender Touch, and the color is Sable. And like 87 cents for this. Like, this is it's really soft. Like, this feels, or it looks like it would be really scratchy. I cannot stand wool yarn. They have a whole bunch of it in Michaels, and like, my hands get dry and cracked, like, especially in the winter. But like, my hands are kind of nice right now. They're not as dry and cracked as they normally get. But like, touching that wool yarn in Michaels, especially, they have some yarn over there in the clearance section that's even fuzzier than that. It feels like you touch it and then it like pulls with your hand. It's so awful. I just don't like it personally. I know a lot of people like it, but I just don't. It's just rough. But this, it looks like that it would be like that wool that would be really scratchy and awful, or like, you know, stick to your hands. But this is really soft and nice. And I don't know what. I don't think this is acrylic. It must not be acrylic. I don't know what this is made out of. Oh, yeah, 100% acrylic. It's really nice. And Tender Touch Sable. And so there's like this sort of brownish color, and they had one that was kind of like a it feels like it is a little bluish gray, but it's gray, but it has like almost a bluish tint to it. Another one, like 87 cents for this. And these are like 3 ounces, 135 yards. Like, I don't know what I can make with these, but really nice yarn and really soft. And then this one was 99 cents. Yarn Bee pearl spun, low pill fiber, and the color jade. And I've never used this yarn before, but it looks like I don't know if it would or not. What is this? 100%? Yeah, 100% low pill acrylic. It feels like this would give really good stitch definition, because sometimes the acrylic kind of gets fuzzy or whatever, and it's the stitches aren't as like, one thing I like about the look of cotton yarn crocheted up is you can see all the stitches really nicely. I just don't like working with it, but and with the acrylic sometimes you lose stitch definition because of the texture of it. This feels like, even though this is acrylic, it feels like it would make really good really good stitch definition, and you could see all the stitches really nice. I don't know what I could make with this tiny little skein, but only 99 cents, so I might as well get it. And then this one is velvety smooth sparkle from Yarn Bee, and the color blush, and it has like some sparkle in it, which I love. And this is only $1.24, and I'll probably make some scrunchies with this or something like that. This one's like one of those where it sort of feels like the skein is a little messed up. Maybe that's why they have it on clearance, because they still have this in the regular section too. So it's not because they were getting rid of this colorway, unless they just haven't put the stickers on those other ones yet. I have no idea. And then they had this, I love this yarn, damn it, yarn, and this is only $1.24. This was called Lemon Ice. It's a really nice light yellow color. It does remind you of lemon ice. I don't know why they're getting rid of it. Hopefully they're not getting rid of this colorway, because when I saw this, I thought I kind of like this. I want to get more of this and make something with it. But for $1.24 for this skein, this is really nice. It's like yellow, but it looks kind of whitish yellow. It's just a really nice neutral kind of yellow. Really soft too. And then they had one of these, like this. When I saw this, I thought, I'm not getting that, because it looks awful. It just looks all hairy. It looks like, no wonder this ended up over there in the clearance. But then when I looked at it more closely, it's actually tightly spun or whatever, and like the fuzz on it, it doesn't pull off. It's not like I thought, oh, the yarn is just really old and it's starting to pull off. No, it's like intentionally like that. You can't really pull that fuzz off. It's like it's supposed to be part of it, and it's actually really nice and soft. It is so soft. I cannot believe how soft this is. And maybe they put it there because of the label ripped or whatever. That's gonna make people go, I'll just rip every single one of the labels, and then they'll have to put clearance stickers on all their yarn. I don't know. I don't know why it ended up there. They have this kind of yarn, and let me just say, I'm not suggesting to do that. I'm making a joke and being sarcastic. There's probably going to be some idiot in there that would do something like that would intentionally screw up the skeins of yarn just to hopefully have it end up on clearance. I'm not saying to do that. That might not even be why they did that. Please don't do that. You can find deals on yarn. You don't have to do something crooked like that. But anyway. But it feels so soft or whatever, but it's actually a really nice, like if you look past the fuzz or whatever, it's actually a really nice tightly woven yarn. And because I thought I would never want to work with really hairy yarn, but what I don't, or let me say, one of the yarns that I would love to use sometime is from Michaels. It's called Facets. Got such pretty colors, but every time I look at it, it's one of those roving yarns where it's like thick and thin, like it keeps changing the weight of it as you work with it. It pulls apart so easily. I've seen people online talking about how if you don't pull it a certain way or whatever, like, or if it frays or it can actually just come like apart, like break. And I don't know. I've never done that. I've never experienced that myself, and so I don't know. But feeling it in the store and just seeing how fuzzy it is just on the very end of it. Like I know the end of yarn can look a little fuzzy or whatever, just because of it not being attached to anything. But it just every single one of them looks just so fuzzy where the end starts or whatever. I wish that they had those pretty colors in like a regular acrylic, but and it's that Facets yarn is expensive too. So but I never wanted to work with like hairy yarn like that or really fuzzy yarn, because I thought it's gonna pull apart like that facets seams too, and that's what I thought it would be, and that's what I thought this would be when I saw it. But then the more I looked at it, I thought the hairiness is like it's not like it's pulling off, or some if you like pull it hard enough. But like, you would think that if I went like this, it would just be like nothing but hair, but it's not. It's attached really nice, and this would make a really pretty scarf or something, like really soft. I don't know. This is just so nice. I never thought like, and this I would only buy this at a clearance price. I would never. This is regular $7.49 a skein. I would never spend that on a skein of yarn, even with the 30% off that they have every other week at Hobby Lobby. $1.87 is how much I spent on this, and so I would only buy that on clearance. But I'm glad I did, and it's called Ethereal Eyelash, whatever. And then the colorway name is, I think it's like oatmeal or something. Where the color is, yeah, or oat, same thing. And then the other three that I bought, I feel like I want to do something with these three together. It feels like something for Christmas. These are all Yarn Bee Soft Secret, and it's like red, black, and should be silver, but mist. It's a silver. It's really shiny yarn, and it's really soft. I don't know how fuzzy this is gonna get, or how hard it's going to be to crochet with this. Hopefully it's not going to keep slipping off my hook, just because of how silky smooth or silky soft it is. But these are really nice colors. Like, I feel like these colors would go really nice together in something like it's kind of Christmassy, because this one it's called Mist, but this is like really like shiny silvery yarn, and it's like shiny silver, but it's soft. It's not like metallic, you know, rough yarn. It's really soft and silky yarn. But I just feel like, especially these two together, that's just like, you know, really Christmassy. And then you're adding a little bit of black to, you know, add some shadow in it. I just feel like, you know, something Christmassy would or I can make something Christmassy out of this. And see, this is the red here. See how this is like messed up down here? I can see why they put this in the clearance section, just because of how messed up it is. But otherwise, like, these are nice. So I don't know. These aren't messed up at all. Unless they were just like making room for other yarn or whatever. But it's not like the time of year for the clearance, but I guess they do clearance stuff all the time. But so this is just, you know, bonus yarn that I never thought I'd buy at Hobby Lobby, and I wasn't even looking for it. I was actually actively avoiding yarn in Hobby Lobby when I was in there, and then I ended up buying this too. So anyway, let me put this back in the bag, and then I'll go over my notes, and there's a couple random things I'll talk about, you know, as if this video isn't long enough, but might as well. Okay, one of the things I wanted to talk about, one of the trips that, I think it was the very first trip I went into Michael's. One of the other times I'd gone into Michael's in the past, there were women, they're like, you know, in their 20s, they're like young girls, to me, because I'm like almost 40 years old, so anybody in their 20s, it just feels like they're, you know, they're girls. But these women were up there, and they're really friendly in Michael's, which is really disappointing, because you know, I don't buy a lot of stuff in Michael's, and if I did, I would, you know, have fun talking to those women at the front of the store, because they're so friendly and, you know, really interested in yarn and stuff, and they crochet, and so it's disappointing that I don't have more reasons to go into my Michael's, and maybe I will now. Maybe I've cleared out so much yarn that maybe they'll have all kinds of room for new yarn. I have no idea, but I knew that those women work up there sometimes. And they've talked to me in the past, like when I have bought a couple of skeins of yarn up there, about them, you know, interested in the kind of yarn that I'm buying, and then they're into crochet too and stuff. And so, in my first video, that package had come. Oh yeah, crap. There's another thing. The first package had, or I mean, one of the packages that had come, and I had those little crochet hook keychains in it, and I knew that I had 6 of them, and I have one for me, and I gave one to my niece, and I gave one to my mom, and then I knew I had 3 left, and so I don't really know who else to give them to, and or like what to do with them, and so I knew that some of those people up there that work at Michael's, you know, crochet, and have talked to me about my yarn and stuff, and how they crochet and all that, and because I bought this skein one time. I just realized I was trying to add up how many skeins of yarn I bought just since the beginning of the year, and I'm up to like $268 worth. No, not I intentionally made that mistake. Not $268 worth. 268 skeins of yarn, just ridiculous. But whatever. I will use it. But you know what I'm saying. I feel like I'm done now. But you know, I have like 2 vouchers coming. Anyway, I just bought so much yarn. But anyway, I knew that those or one of the skeins I'd bought at Michael's before. I think it was with one of my vouchers or something. It was like this really thin kind of. It feels like the kind of yarn that people use for the amigurumi, except it was really thin, and it has like this purple in it. I wanted to make something for my mom with it. I don't really know what to make with it yet, but it feels like a pretty skein that I can make something real pretty for my mom. And so I was buying that, and then these 2 women up there. They were talking, and I feel like it was the 2 women from the other day. And they were, talking about, oh, I've never used this kind of yarn before, and they were sort of talking to each other like, oh, what kind of yarn do you use? And they were just like, talking about yarn and asking me what I make and everything, and just like really friendly. That's what I'm gonna miss when like Joann closes, because I've had that same kind of interaction with people in Joann, and I'm hoping that Michael's is gonna stick around, but they need to make more room in their store for more yarn. But whatever, don't end up like Joann, Michael's, whatever. And so I knew that I may run into those women that were talking about crochet that time, and so I thought I'm gonna keep the extra keychains in my or one of those like shoulder bags or a purse, and I put it like around my neck or whatever like that. And one of the there seems to be a lot of men wearing those bags lately, I've noticed, and I don't feel self-conscious about it, but it's just I've seen it everywhere. Because like why the hell can't I cuss all the time. Why the hell can't men wear shoulder bags and stuff too? It's stupid having to like stuff all my crap in my pockets and stuff, and having to like dig around and like just like having these big bulging pockets full of crap. I like having the little shoulder bag to carry stuff around in. I just jokingly call it my purse. It's not really a purse. It's just like one of those little shoulder bags, like one of those little zipper bags that I think I got them at Hobby Lobby. But anyway, just a total random thing. But I put those crochet hooks in my purse, and I took them to Michael's, and and then luckily it was those 2 women that I live right by the road. You're gonna hear like cars and now an ambulance is going by, but I had the crochet hooks in my bag, and I just had a feeling that like if I ran into them that they would engage in conversation with me like about the yarn that I have, and I just felt like if I set my keys on the like act like I sort of planned this. I wish it was like more organic, and they just happen to notice, and then I just happened to have them with me. But I sort of planned it because I was hoping to like run into those women, and so I could like give them the crochet hooks because I don't need them. They were just extras, and so I had the crochet hooks in my little bag, and then I had my had the hooks on my keychain, and so and luckily they were the ones working, and so I was buying all this yarn and stuff, and so I just like I lifted my keys out, and then what was perfect is one of the women behind the counter, I don't know their names or anything, but she noticed the crochet hooks before I even put it on the counter. I thought I was gonna have to like set it down there, and I intentionally put it on top of my wallet so that I had to like pull it out first, and then before I even set it on the counter, I thought I was gonna have to set it on there and kind of spread it out like to make sure that she saw it. She noticed it before I even set it on the counter, and she said, "Oh my God, I love the crochet hook keychain or whatever." And they were talking, and she wants to have some. She wants to find some little teeny tiny ones for like her earrings or whatever, and they were just like talking about how cool it was these little crochet hooks on a keychain, and then I got to say. I actually have some extras if y'all want some, or if y'all want one. And she was like, really? And they was like, so they loved it, and so I got to like give them an extra one of my extras or whatever, because I didn't need them, and the other woman wanted one too, and so and they have like some of the people in Michael's have like lanyards or whatever, and she put hers on her lanyard, and she was saying that, oh, you just made my day, all over a stupid crochet hook keychain or whatever. But I wanted to give it to somebody who I knew would appreciate it as a crochet hook, and maybe not use it like you can use them as crochet hooks and stuff. When I showed my niece these little crochet hooks, she said, "Can you actually use them as a crochet hook?" And I said, "Yeah." And I made like a tiny little swatch with it. I'm not used to using like a 5. I use like a 5.5, but you can actually use these, and so it was just like fun to like do that and give the extras that I have to people that will appreciate them and stuff, and people in Michael's or whatever, they're always so friendly and everything, but whatever. And so I gave those two to those two women, and then I had one extra, and in one of my old videos I had made a bookmark for somebody that my mom knows, and there's like some special meaning to the bookmark or whatever, but she crochets, and I made her a special bookmark or whatever, and it's just more of a personal story. I did that for my mom so that she could give her friend something, and I knew that she crocheted because she really appreciated the bookmark, because she was talking about how she crocheted or whatever, and so I had the extra, and so my mom gave the extra, like the 6th one, to that woman, and she just loved it, and she thought it was like so cool that have these little tiny crochet hooks and stuff. So at least the 3 extras aren't just like taking up space in my house with all my belongings or whatever. They're actually in the hands of people that are going to appreciate them and stuff. So anyway, that's just like a completely random story. Hang on. Okay, and like I said in my other video, I was waiting for some favorite stripe, the Red Heart Super Saver favorite stripe from Amazon. I had bought 8 of the jumbo skeins of that because it's my favorite colorway. It's just the colors in this are so vibrant, and just everything I've made with it and given people, I just have like giver's remorse because it's just so gorgeous. The beautiful colors in this, and so the 8 skeins from Amazon came because I think they were like $11.97 for 2 of these jumbo skeins, which are like twice the size of a regular skein, and what is so frustrating about Red Heart Super Saver sometimes is like all 4 of these came, they are so soft, and but I have the skeins that I've been using, they're a little bit rougher than this, and so like when these came, I thought, I wish all of my skeins were like this. They're so nice. I don't like how inconsistent the texture is with the Red Heart Super Saver sometimes. I mean, I know that yarn is made in different places probably, and it just depends on dye lots and like all that kind of stuff. But it's just frustrating to think that it can come really soft like this, but then the next time I order it might end up being kind of rough, like the yarn that I had bought at Walmart that was the Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo Stripe, the favorite stripe colorway. So I don't know, but all 4 packs, all 8 skeins of this are just really soft and nice, and it's my favorite colorway right now. Just because of how vibrant these colors are. I mean, it's just really nice. And now the fact that they're so soft just made me so glad that I bought these. That's just another random story. Hang on. And I bought this is a random thing, but I bought on Amazon they have some really cool crochet shirts. I'm gonna be I have a couple of designs that I'm working on right now, but I wanted to buy some crochet shirts, for one for me and one for my mom. But I do have some designs coming in the future, but that's just, it'll be on my website network, justek.com. But that's just in the future. I'll probably put the designs on shirts on Zazzle. But anyway, but they have some really nice crochet shirts on Amazon. The one I got from my mom is what we want to do is go to Joann like one more time before they close, and it's if I need to, but I just like to go there, and because we like to every time we go to the town where our Joann is, it's sort of like we make sort of a day out of it, because we have to sort of drive out of town like a half hour, and there's other stores in the area and stuff, and it would be nice to go there, and the people in that Joann, God, it's just so devastating that it's closing, because the people in there are so nice. But anyway, this I thought it'd be kind of funny if we like has some crochet shirts that we could wear when we go there, and because they're always like asking what we're going to do with the yarn that we buy and all this kind of stuff. And so the one I got from my mom says, I just need coffee and my crochet. And it's just like a really funny shirt and really nice. What's frustrating about some of these shirts or some of the designs on Amazon is it'll say like, it'll be like a really nice shirt and it'll say like something about crochet, but then every one of the little balls of yarn has like has knitting needles sticking out of it. So it's more difficult than I realized to find a shirt about crochet that actually has a crochet hook in it. This one you can't really see the hook or what. There's like something there, but you can't really see. It doesn't look like a big knitting needle sticking up out of the yarn. But and so that's the one I got from my mom. And the one I got from me is I crochet so I don't unravel, which is true. God. And so this is what mine looks like, and so it's big because I'm a big and so so mine's like a 6X or whatever, but see, it's like a skein of yarn, and it has like actual crochet hooks in it, and so it doesn't have like, it's not like a big ball with knitting needles sticking out of it saying something about crochet. But really nice shirts. These are like $15 a piece, and so got us each one of those, so we'll wear those sometime. Hopefully we'll day out of it and go to Joann like one more time before they close. But anyway. Oh, my Ollie's had I'm just like reading from my list at this point. My Ollie's had an ad recently saying that they, you could tell they bought the yarn from Joann, but they couldn't say Joann. But they had a bunch of Bernat blanket yarn, which I'm not crazy about. But I was hoping that if I went there, that's where I bought the Big Red Heart Super Saver, Bluebell and the Claret and all that. I was hoping that they would have other yarns that they bought from the Joann liquidation, but it was just like the blanket yarn. They didn't have. I've seen videos online of people in their Ollies with their all the Bernat yarn that they got in, just tons of it, all different kinds of colorways and stuff. And I like that black and white when they kind of look zebra colors. Sort of nice, but even that I probably wouldn't get, because I'm not really crazy about the feel of that yarn. It just feels a little just off. I'm just not crazy about it. But I just wanted to see if they had that, or if they had any other kind of yarn. If they were going to get a whole bunch of like Bernat blanket yarn, and maybe they're going to get some other yarn that they got from the liquidation or whatever. Maybe a couple of big twists are getting mixed in somewhere. I don't know. But that's what I was hoping for. But my store just didn't have very much of it at all, and just not very good colors or whatever. But that was kind of disappointing. But I did go to look just in case. And then, okay, and then one thing I forgot to talk about was when I was talking about the bonbon and how it just doesn't really match the pictures online. And this is in my last video. This is a follow-up to that. I was talking about like the Red Heart Super Saver, and how if you look at the pictures of bonbon, the colorway bonbon, it looks kind of like it has vibrant teals and really like really vibrant pinks and really nice teals, and then when you get it, it's like blue with like some sort of dullish pinks. Now, not that it's not pretty, it's just that it doesn't match the picture. And what I was going to say is that I forgot to mention is, like, I don't really know colors by, I mean, unless it's like something like Favorite Stripe or like a very specific color that I've used a lot of or that I really like. I don't really know, like if you said, like Orchid Mist or like what, have you ever used Orchid Mist? I wouldn't know a colorway by their name, because they're such ridiculous colorway names anyway, but I wouldn't know them by their names. And so, and I bought a lot of yarn over the past year since I've been crocheting, and but I would never think, like if somebody said, have you ever tried bonbon? I don't know it by, I don't know the colorways enough by name to know, oh yeah, I've used that, or no, I haven't. And so when I was looking on Amazon for yarn and stuff from Red Heart, when I bought that bonbon, I saw that colorway and I thought, oh, that's really pretty. I don't have that in my stash. It's like, teals and vibrant pinks and stuff. And then when it came, I was a little disappointed at first, and I thought, well, I must not have looked at the picture very well, or I guess this is right. But then when I looked at the picture later on, I thought, oh, it doesn't look like the picture at all. And when I looked at the skein, I thought, I feel like I have a skein of yarn like this. Is it like a Walmart brand? Is it like a Mainstays? Or like, I feel like I have a yarn that's very similar to this. went into my stash, and then I had the Red Heart Super Saver Bonbon. I already had that, but see, like when I saw the when I saw the picture on Amazon, I never thought I had that, because I don't have that, because I have Bonbon, what it looks like in person. I don't have that picture, and so and I didn't recognize it by the colorway name. Otherwise I wouldn't have bought it, because I already have a skein. But at least I have some skeins that I can use with the skein that I already have. But it was just like a random story that I forgot to mention when I was talking about the Bonbon, that I already had one. Hang on. Oh, and that purple and black mix I realized the colorway name the second I turned the camera off, practically. That purple and black from Big Twist, I guess it's, you know, gone now anyway. But it's called Perplexed. In one of my old videos, I called it. It's called Purplexed. It's Perplexed. But whatever. I realized that, you know, after I filmed it. The last time I made videos, but it's called Perplexed. That's the colorway name of that. That really pretty purple and black, and it just, you know, it was really frustrating with that, you know, yarn that was thin on one side and thicker on the other side of the knot. And I have so much of that. I feel like I misspoke. I might have gotten a second skein of that. I don't remember. I bought so much yarn in the past year, and I feel like that ball is a little too big for it to be the other side of the yarn. I feel like because I know I filmed a video where I like pulled out a whole skein of that yarn to see if there were any knots, and to check to see if it was thinner on one side and thicker on the other side. And I feel like I did that with that like a second skein of that. So I feel like the smaller ball of that Perplex that I got is probably what's left over of that yarn. It's like it's thinner yarn, because it started off thick, and then it, you know, turned into that thin crappy yarn. And then the second skein I feel like is thicker, but because it was from another skein, I think. But I've gotten so much yarn I can't keep track. But at this point, but I feel like that's what it was. Anyway, hang on. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about this that I wrote down to mention is when I made this scarf, I made it long ways first. Like the chain, I made the chain long ways. I've made scarves where I do the chain like this, like the width first, and then, you know, my rows are like back and forth this way. But this way, I started my chain this long. And what was frustrating is I didn't even get through the whole this isn't like, you know, a really long scarf, but, you know, it's you know, a good size scarf, but I didn't even make it through the first, like the initial chain, before I came across a knot. Luckily I didn't come across any more knots in the whole skein, but I thought I just pulled out the center pull, and I didn't even get, you know, through a chain, like a scarf chain, and there was a knot. It was frustrating, but you know, it was fine. I cut it out and weaved in the ends and all that kind of stuff, but whatever. That was just like a completely random thing. And I guess I'll talk about my niece's crochet. Just you can see it on the wall hanging over there. She actually she came over one day, and I'd made a video and put it on her phone or whatever so that she could learn how to crochet. But she was doing the chains and doing all kinds of chains, and she was like using double yarn and making like necklaces and stuff. And she's made some for some of her friends, and made one for me and one for my mom and one for her, and it was really nice. But I was hoping that she would learn and pick up the single crochet. And so I tried to, like, she was over here and she was just having a hard time. I guess she learns better like in person, even though she's left-handed and I'm right-handed, and I have to kind of teach her in reverse. I think me working with her one-on-one, she learns better that way. And so I was trying to teach her about, you know, single crochet, and I said it's not really that much more difficult than chaining or whatever, because like she watched the video, but she tried, but she just couldn't really do it. And I said it's almost like you're chaining, you're putting your hook in the, or like you're drawing up a loop or whatever, but you're going into your the yarn of the chain before you do it, and then when you have two on your hook, then you're making another chain. I sort of like exaggerated, and you're sort of making another chain, but you're just pulling it through there. And so when I kind of said it in a way of like yarning over is almost like chaining, she thought, oh, okay, well that seems kind of simple enough. And so then she started to do it, and she grasped it like that. I thought, like, I feel like she knew, and she watched the video enough where she could do it, and but I just feel like she was a little bit nervous to do it by herself, or she was like maybe getting frustrated or whatever. But she grasped it, and she was just like so excited or whatever. And so she made like her first crochet piece. She skipped a couple chains. I hung it up on my wall just to let me get it. hung it up on my wall just to make her feel like, you know, it's something really important, and we wanted to you know, display it because it's such a really cool thing. And when she came over, she because the teal blanket that I'm working on, which I'm almost finished with, but I feel like I need to add, I'm adding a little bit to the size of that teal blanket, because I realized it's just a little bit too short, you know, width wise. I think I just made it a little bit too long, so I needed to make it like 50 by 60. I was making it like 40 by 50, and then when I made it 60 inches long, it just sort of looks a little bit too long. So I need to make it like just 5 inches on each side. So I'm gonna make it 50 by 60 throw blanket. But and so I'm almost done with that. But she has seen me working on that, and I'm using 2 strands of yarn. And so when she went home one day, she was like making her chains or whatever, and she wanted to do that. And she sent me this really cute video on my through email, and from her phone, and she was like crocheting or whatever, and she wanted to try to do it like 2 strands of yarn like I'm doing. And when she she had like the 2 strands or whatever, and then when she like did her first chain, she was like, you know, trying to do it, and then she was just like like she couldn't, like she like got so excited for herself that she actually got to do that, and you know, make the chains with 2 strands of yarn, that she actually got it. And so she, because you know, she loved watching me do like the 2 strand thing with the teal blanket, and so she just loved doing it. And so when she came over and I taught her how to do the single crochet, she wanted to do it with 2 strands of yarn. And so strands of my yarn, and we had bought her a whole bunch of yarn when she started to do these like braided bracelets and stuff. So she has a lot of yarn out at her house, but she wanted to use some of my yarn. She used the big twist, that that kind of crappy green and the crappy blue, you know, the thin like it looks really nice together. Like this blue and this green together are really pretty. Good use for this you know, crappy yarn, but she wanted to use those 2 colors and mix them together, and so it's really nice. It's like a little bit uneven, and she missed a couple stitches here and there or whatever, and sometimes it almost feels like she wants to be as quick as I am. I'm not as quick as like passionate Kelsey. Oh God, I'm so jealous watching her. She's just like this, and she's not even looking. Just like my thoughts are as scattered as, you know, and all over the place. Is like my mind works, you know, quick like that, except it just doesn't translate well to like my hands. It's like, you know, her hands are as fast as my, you know, brain is all scattered. She is, it's just like amazing how she crochets. But anyway, she my niece, she wants to crochet really quickly. Like, I mean, I crochet quicker than I did when I first started, but and I'm pretty good at it. Not as fast as passionate Kelsey, but you know what I'm saying. And so she wanted to go really quickly, even though she had just started. And so she was just like going into places, and she was like going under the V's or whatever, like, you know. But sometimes she would miss the next one, and she would skip one, and so that's why it kind of messed up in areas. Like when this section right here looks perfect, these single crochets, although she missed the stitch right here. But like when it gets down in here, she gets a little scattered or whatever, just because she got too excited and she wanted to go really quickly and stuff. And but you know, this is like her first piece, and since then she's made herself a bookmark, and it turned out really nice. And then she took it to school, and she's reading that Hatchet book, and I love that book. It's like one of the books I remember from my childhood, that Hatchet book. And so it was like funny to see that she's reading it. And so she had it at school in her book, and her teacher saw it, and or she showed her teacher or whatever, and her teacher asked her to make her one. And so she came over one day and she made her a bookmark. She used the Perplexed and like a dark purple, just like a basic dark purple that I have, and mix those together because her teacher's favorite color was purple, I guess. And so she made like with the 2 strands of yarn a bookmark, and it was, you know, really nice. And then she made some of her other friends want some bookmarks too, and someone wanted a couple of her necklaces and stuff, and she's just really getting into crochet, and I'm glad that she's doing it. And it's like sort of a feeling of pride for me, because it feels like, you know, she she wants to imitate me crocheting, and she wanted, like, there's so like one of her friends told her, well, you can just learn on YouTube like how to crochet, and then but she had to tell her friend, well, I want my uncle to teach me how to crochet, because there's tons of videos on YouTube. That's how I learned, but she wanted me to teach her. It felt really good that she wanted me to be the one to teach her how to crochet and stuff, and so I made some videos for it, and she's actually crocheting and stuff and getting into it, and you know, it makes me feel good that like, you know, I'm reaching this point where I've been crocheting for a year, and I've made a lot of accomplishments and done crocheted all kinds of things, and given gifts to all kinds of people, but to know that, like, I'm reaching this point, this milestone where I've been crocheting for a year, and I've already taught another person how to crochet, and have encouraged her to pursue a creative passion that she might not have pursued otherwise. It feels really good, and I feel really proud of her that she, you know, can do something like that. So proud that I'm like, I put it on my wall with a little thumbtack. You know, it's like this little crocheted piece, this little, you know, swatch or whatever. But like, I'm really proud that she did this, and it feels really good to know that, like, it's partly because of me. I don't mean that in a narcissistic way, but it makes me feel good that, like, I'm picked up a passion for crochet, and I'm actually passing it on to somebody. And I only got into crochet because my mom was into crochet, and I learn how to crochet to make her a blanket, which I'm still working on. It's a huge single crochet blue blanket, so it's going to take a while. I've heard people say online it's like a not a rite of passage. I forget what they called it. I wrote it down somewhere. Where it's like the one thing, like, if you do a single crochet blanket, it's like, you know, it changes your whole life, or like, I forget the term. Hang on, 19 minutes. But I forget what it's called. But the only reason I decided, or I picked up crochet is because I wanted to make my mom a blanket, because she's like she was the crocheter in the family, and she was making blankets for everybody else, and she made me all kinds of blankets. She made me this big rainbow blanket, and made me a couple other blankets, and so I wanted to make her a blanket because, you know, I knew that she would never make one for herself, and so that's why when I learned to crochet, and now I'm just like ran with it, and just obsessed with it, and crocheting all kinds of stuff, and you know, doing way more things in like even she did. She just like made blankets and stuff, but and I'm sure she made some other things, but that was like the main thing that she would do. And so, like, it sort of feels like my niece is like, there's part of my passion for crochet, but also my mom's passion for crochet in her now, because you know, my mom passed it on to me, even though I learned through YouTube. She's left-handed too. I'm like the only right-handed person left in my family. I think my sister was right-handed, but you know, she died years ago. But I think everybody else in my family is left-handed. It's weird. Like, it's usually the reverse. Usually the left-handed person's there's only like one left-handed person, but like, I'm the only right-handed person, so I'm like sort of the weird person, or the other, not weird. You're not weird if you're left-handed, but you know what I'm saying. It's more rare that like a whole family is left-handed and there's only one person that's the right-handed person, so I'm sort of like the outsider. But my mom passed on crochet to me, like the passion for it, and I'm only a crocheter because I wanted to give her something with yarn, and I wanted to give her a blanket. And then now it's like my niece is, you know, only into crochet because she's seen me do it, and she wanted to do it, and she wanted me to teach her how to do it. And so it sort of feels really good that I'm reaching this milestone, and after a year that I've already passed the passion of crochet onto somebody else, and she's actually, you know, doing it, and she's making bookmarks and like giving them to people, and she's gonna pass it on to other people. And I don't know, that's just one of the powerful things about any kind of artistic thing, any kind of creative thing, any kind of like something like crochet. It is something that kind of gets passed down from generations, luckily, and hopefully it'll continue to do that. And my niece will be one of those people that will continue the tradition, because you know, we don't want it to be like a dying art or a dying thing. We want it to be, because it is fun. You can actually make, it's not just like, oh, you can make really pretty things. You can make really functional things like clothing and wearables and stuff. And it's a really good hobby to have, and it's a really good passion to have if you're a creative person. So anyway. Okay. And what's funny is when my niece came back over, and she was like she's already learning the terminology like whip and I forget what other word she used. But I told her that like in the crochet community, there's all kinds of like vocabulary that she's gonna learn, and whip is one of them. You know, like work in progress, and she's already picked up that word, and she said that one of her whips, she like not so subtly told me what it is. She can barely keep a secret sometimes. She's one of those people that's like, well, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it starts with the B. And you know, it's obvious what it is. But she wanted to make me something, and I thought, well, what else would it be? You know, started with a B, and so she wants to make me a blanket, and she said, you know, it's a blanket. Like she just, you know, blurted it out. So she wants to make me a blanket. That's one of the whips in her head that she wants to do sometimes. One of the projects she wants to do. Although I don't expect her to, you know, do that, take on that big of a task. She's gonna have all kinds of like little bookmarks that she's gonna make for her friends, and all kinds of like necklaces and like whatever. She doesn't need to make me a blanket, but she's so into it now, and really proud of herself that she wants to make a blanket for me, and she wants to make it all black. And I thought that's the last thing that she wants to do, because working with black yarn is hard enough if you're a skilled crocheter to see all the stitches and everything. But she wants to, but I don't know if she's going to actually follow through with that. But she wants to make me a black blanket, and she came over, and she had a little notebook, and she had like all kinds of notes and stuff, and she like for her project she was like flipping through, and she wants to make my mom one too, and she's just like getting into crochet. And but what was funny is she said, I don't really know how many skeins of yarn I need for your blanket, but I'm thinking maybe like 100, and I was thinking she's not gonna need that many, and so I showed her my EG stitch throw blanket, the one I showed the camera in the last video, and I said, well, this one right here only has like 11 skeins, so you're not going to need you know, 100 skeins. That's, you know, way too much yarn or whatever. And so you'll get a feel for it or whatever. And what you can do is, when you're starting out, you can just like, you know, crochet the width that you want it, and then, you know, add it as you go along, so you don't have to buy like a whole bunch of skeins, because that would be my luck to, like, for her to convince one of her other relatives or whatever to say, I only need 100 skeins, and then they buy her 100 skeins, and she has like all this black yarn that she doesn't need, and because of me, because she wanted to make a blanket for me, and I didn't, you know, instruct her well enough to tell her how much yarn to use for something. Whatever, but it was just funny, like her little notebook and with all her little notes and her whip ideas, and then another random, this is a completely random thing, but a follow up to the last video I did, that cowl thing that I did, you know, how I want to do the black one with the Huga or HYGGE, whatever that yarn, the colorway that I used, the one that I found at Ollie's, that kind of brownish burgundy-ish color, it was called Plum Candy. I keep all the little labels and stuff. What I should do is keep my labels, and I started to do this at the very beginning, but it got to the point where I have so much yarn and so many skeins and labels and stuff. I should have taken the time to put the label with the colorway name and like a little piece of the yarn in a baggie, so that I could keep track of which is which. But anyway, that skein was called Plum Candy, and it was $4.99 from Ollie's. And I'm sure I had like a coupon, because they send coupons through the mail. If you're an Ollie's member, you get like, you know, whatever percentage off every couple months or whatever. They'll send you a coupon, but I'm sure I used that too when I bought that yarn. I may not have. I don't remember. And I guess that's about it. I mean, this video is going to be long enough anyway. I was going to show off the stuff in the Michaels grab box or whatever, but this video is just going to be so long anyway. But let me just see what else. I think I'm pretty much done with the video, but let me just check. No, I think that should be enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to separate that out into another video sometime in the future. But because this is just all about yarn and everything like that. Now, I did show the 2 skeins of yarn, the reason why I got the grab boxes in the first place, so that should be enough. And I'll just show off the random stuff that I got in the box. There's some really nice stuff in those grab boxes that I got. Some stuff that I'll probably sell. There was some, my friend, one of my best friends is into like that, can't remember the name of that stuff, resin, and there were a couple containers of dye for resin. I've already sent that to her in her package, so that's not in the box anymore. And then of course those skeins I put with the other skeins, but I think everything else is in those boxes, so I'll do that in another video in the future, and I'll end up having to do another video anyway, because I'm going to probably end up getting two $5 vouchers from Michaels, and have to spend another $10 on yarn. I could buy other things. I could buy some beads, but I have all kinds of beads for the tassels for those bookmarks, all the bookmarks that I've already made, and I could buy other things, but you know, I might as well spend it on the yarn, because that's like the main passion that I'm working on right now. Or, you know, creatively that way. I mean, my main passion is my writing and stuff, but like I'm talking about, like, you know, making physical things it's like the yarn at this point. And so I have plenty of charms and plenty of beads and like all kinds of and I have plenty of cross stitching thread, or you know, embroidery floss, whatever you call it, for the tassels, and you know, I might as well get some more yarn. But anyway, that's probably what that'll be for. So but that'll be another video. But anyway, if you watch this video, I really appreciate it, and I appreciate whoever watched the other videos, or the other video too, and especially the person that watched like all the way through. I have like, I got 2 hours of watch time just from the, or over 2, like almost 3 hours of watch time, just from that video alone, and one of the views was like basically the whole video. Hopefully they, I know I joked in the watch it be, I joked in the video that did you like, I joked that the video is going to be so long you can make a whole blanket during it, and then halfway into the video I said, did you doze off underneath it while you're making it because I'm so boring? Watch that be the reason why that person actually watched the whole video, because they actually did doze off and they didn't even hear the joke. That would be my luck. But anyway, if you actually watch this video and watch all the way through, I really appreciate it, and I hope you like and subscribe and comment down below. I don't care what you comment, or like whatever. You know, just say hello, say, you know, what you found interesting, or what you want to know about, or like whatever. And so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.